Christo Javachev was born on June 13, 1935, in Bulgaria. He was the son of Vladimir Ivan Javachev, who was an owner of a chemical manufacturing business, and Zavita Dimitrova, who was an active member in society with politics. The whole family, which consisted of two other siblings, was considered one of Bulgaria's socially and intellectually prominent families. Christo attended the Fine Arts Academy in Sofia, where he learned his trade of being an artist. During the last year of training, Christo traveled to Paris, France, where he identified his art style as realism. He started creating sculptures which used everyday objects such as bottles, tin cans, oil drums, and boxes to create works of art that brought joy and beauty. Using these creative sculpture methods, he created new ways of seeing familiar landscapes. During Christo's time in Paris, he met Jean-Claude. Jean-Claude was also born on June 13, 1935, in Casablanca, Morocco. John and Christo fell in love shortly after meeting and got married, started their lifelong journey together. They worked on major artworks together that depicted their styles of natural realism. One of the major examples was the wrapping of buildings in rocks using nature as canvases for their artwork. Christo and John fled to the United States as refugees because of their works of art and political background. Continuing their careers in the United States, Christo and Jean-Claude stayed true to their form. Jean-Claude died at the age of 74 on November 18, 2009, leaving behind her husband Christo and son Cyril.
What inspired Christo's Arkansas project? Christo and Jean-Claude have completed about 20 projects and twice as much have not succeeded. Many years of refusal until the artist could complete the project. It took 32 years for Wrapped Trees, from 1968 to 1998, 26 years for The Gates, 1971 to 2005. 25 years for the Wrapped Reichstag, 1971 to 1995. 10 years for the Pointill Wrap, 1975 to 1985. 5 years for Running Fence, 1972 to 1976. Christo and Jean-Claude's vision for Over the River was conceived in 1992. Includes 5.9 miles of silvery luminous fabric panels to be suspended clear of and high above the water in 8 distinct areas along a 42-mile stretch of the Arkansas River. On November 7, 2011, the U.S. Department of the Interior announced its record of decision giving Christo the necessary federal permit to realize Over the River project for the Arkansas River, state of Colorado. The Fine Arts Center in Colorado Springs, the Clyde Ford Steel Museum are expected to come join the Over the River event. RAGS, Over the River, Arkansas River, also known as ROAR, debates that Over the River project threatens the Constitution and filed a brief with the Colorado Supreme Court. ROAR filed its initial lawsuits against the Colorado Parks Board on July 22, 2011. How will Over the River affect wildlife and environment? Final EIS says that there will be no significant impacts to any terrestrial, avian, or aquatic wildlife as a result of Over the River. Can US 50 handle the traffic that will be generated by Over the River? Final EIS determined that traffic delays during the project's construction and removal periods will be negligible.
Vandalism of Christo Arts. Number 1, Solomon Islands location, Miami, Florida, 1980 to 1983. The public installation artist Christo and Jean-Claude stirred up a massive controversy in 1983. Why they used 6.5 million square feet of pink polypropylene to surround 11 islands? Environmentalists were furious or the prospect and federal trial came to a head just months before the installation. They say that the natural beauty of the island had been diminished by that project. Some environmentalists keep telling that there is no need of putting pink skirts in the island. Number 2, Umbrellas, California, 1991. This project soon faced tons of criticism when a 448 lb aluminum frame umbrellas killed a woman crushing her against a rock. Number 3, Wrapped Reichstag, 1995. The artist had been invited to wrap the German parliament building in fabric. The opposition, led by the Chancellor, said that encasing the historic building would be of a mockery of Germany's democratic traditions. Recently, there is a huge controversy on their new Arkansas River project. They propose to clog 5.9 miles of Arkansas River by slavery fabric which now became the subject of serious discussion. Environmentalists are talking about the life in water affected by the construction. $12 million had been already utilized before the construction. Drilling of 9,100 holes in the ground severely impact the region's natural ecosystem.
Rags Over the River filed a lawsuit Friday, July 22, 2011, charging the Colorado Board of Parks and Outdoor Recreation with violating its own regulations by permitting the Over the River Corporation to use Arkansas's Headwater Recreation Area park facilities for up to 5 years for a large-scale industrial art exhibition for Arkansas's river between Salida and Cannon City. Issues surrounding the controversy are: it is a disruption of wildlife and interference with their watering, feeding, breeding, and etc. It is a destruction of wildlife and its surroundings. The project forces police, fire, and ambulance response teams to impede on others due to the progression of multiple vehicle accidents. The inability of thousands of local residents to work on or to obtain food, portable water, medical, and veterinary care. It causes a disruption for the usual tourist and local recreation opportunities. There has been an increase of danger for locals due to the multiple casualty accidents caused by people slowing and stopping to take photos of the project. Lastly, there is garbage and human waste left over by the crowds of onlookers.
Looking at both sides, there are a few pros and cons with the project. Looking at the pros, in August, when the project is constructed, the river is calm and the rafters can enjoy fabric canopies in a calm manner. The project will be up for only 2 weeks, and it's also scheduled around breeding times. After the project, there will be a contribution to many wildlife projects to have a long-lasting positive effect for wildlife. It will have a cultural influence, something visitors will remember for a lifetime. Tourism to the state and surrounding communities will grow for the 2 weeks it is up. Over 620 jobs created for the local community for the project alone, many more with the increased amounts of tourism. There will be an increased amount of sales due to construction and spending by visitors that is in the millions. Many of the cons listed will have a small lasting effect for the duration of the project, and even after, there will be minimal impacts to the area. A few of the cons are that it will could potentially endanger local population of bighorn sheep, endanger local population of trout. There's also a public safety concern due to onlookers from the highway. And finally, there's an increased amount of traffic on US 50 due to lane closures. Over the River project is currently postponed due to legal litigation. The process is ongoing. The legal cases are not against the artists themselves, they are against the Bureau of Land Management, also known as BLM, and Colorado State Parks. Rohr versus BLM is a case where law students from the University of Denver Law School represent Rohr and challenge the decision of BLM that allows the artists to use the land for the project. The complaint was denied by the Federal District Court and has now been appealed by Rohr. We are awaiting the outcome from the U.S. Court of Appeals before the project can continue.